Intentional interior design for mindful living. You might be wondering, what does that really mean? Welcome to GA Atelier, the podcast where intentional interior design meets mindful living. I'm your host, Jihan Askar, and I'm here with you on this journey to transform our living spaces into sanctuaries that reflect our unique story, personality, style, and lifestyle, while elevating our everyday life at home. So step inside my design workshop and let's design your home together. So you might have noticed in every episode on this podcast, I start with the same phrase: intentional interior design meets mindful living. So today I wanted to take a step back and talk about what that really means for me. What is intentional interior design and what is mindful living? What do I mean by that? It's more than a tagline, obviously, for me. It's really the foundation of how I approach home design and just design in general. When I talk about intentional design, I don't just mean choosing the right furniture, picking the perfect paint color. It goes deeper than that for me. Intentional design is not about following a specific aesthetic or style necessarily, or set of rules, the latest trends. It's about designing spaces that reflect how you actually live. Spaces that align with you, your values, what you truly enjoy, what brings you joy, and how you want to feel on a daily basis. It's about creating a home that actively supports the way you want to live, and designing then with that purpose in mind. So we can sometimes decorate or design based on impulses, buying things in the moment or recreating something we've seen online just because it looks good without considering whether it fits our lifestyle. But intentional design means you're looking beyond these quick fixes or changes and stepping back and taking some time and asking different questions. So rather than looking at design of what can we do here and solving a problem, a functional problem maybe in the space, how can we make it look more beautiful, you're asking different questions. What brings me joy? What do I value? How or what do I truly need from this space? How do I want to live within that space? How do I want to feel in it? So when we start with these questions, we move from just filling a space with things and, furniture, decor, all the design decisions that we have to make, to shaping the experience of living at home. And when we understand our values, we think about them, we know our priorities, we can design our homes in a way that reflects them. A home that is simply filled with decor, furniture, or things that looked good in the store but don't quite fit, it will make the space feel disconnected. It looks good, but something is off. But a home that is shaped around the way you actually want to live, then the design is much more meaningful and the space is much more fulfilling. Intentional design means making choices, big or small, that align with what matters most to you. It's about removing what doesn't serve you and adding what does. So notice here I said also removing. So sometimes it's not just about adding or buying and changing necessarily. Sometimes you might have to remove things. So our home are not just a static background in how we live. They're active participants. I think our homes and our lives are obviously deeply intertwined. The spaces where we live influence how we feel, and they influence our daily experiences. I've talked about this in previous episodes that you can go back to. But the relationship is not one-sided. Just as we shape and design our homes are also shaping us. So when we keep that in mind, intentional design becomes even more important. When we understand, we realize that we are influenced by our environment, then our home needs to be designed intentionally. When every choice aligns with the way you want to live, then we can shape our daily experiences. And this is where the two-way relationship between home and life comes in. When we are intentional about how we live, we naturally design our home with intention. And when we design our home with intention, we're also designing the way we live. And this then leads us to the mindful living part. It's about moving through your days with awareness. So it's not necessarily, when I say mindful, it doesn't have to be anything complicated or a practice that you just do every day at home. It's just every day, all day, really, ideally. You're making choices that feel aligned rather than just going through the motions. It's about presence. How fully can you feel at home, both physically and emotionally? So mindful living asks us to pause, to notice, to reflect a little bit more. And when we are intentional about our choices, and that includes our home too, so intentional about our choices in life and home, everything starts to feel more aligned, more like you. And when we become more aware of what feels right to us, we can design a home that supports that feeling. We can shape both our homes and our lives in a way that supports us deeply. The key is that you're actively choosing. You're making deliberate choices. You're thinking about it a little bit before making decisions. You are literally designing things intentionally around you, everything basically, not just your home. And this is why, for me, intentional design and mindful living are connected, because it's not just about having a beautiful home, it's about creating a space that allows you to live in a way that feels right to you, the way you want. But what I want to add here is that when we also hear intentional design, we might think it means everything has to be meticulously planned, carefully styled, and flawlessly curated, just perfect. And I don't think this is realistic. It's not about rigid rules and unrealistic expectations. Intentional design isn't about perfection. It's about that alignment. You're aligning your space with your life. It's about creating a home where you don't have to work hard to feel comfortable, to feel good. A home where every element serves a purpose. Everything is designed to support you, works for you, not the other way around, and it makes life easier, not more complicated. So take a moment and think about that. Is your home helping you shape the kind of life that you want to live? I hope today's episode has inspired you to look at your home and design in a different way so that your home becomes a space that supports the life you are intentionally designing. Thank you for joining my atelier, and I'll see you in the next episode.